What's up, Sarah?
Hey, how's it going?
Well, how are you?
Good to see you post-COVID. You survived. Everyone survived.
We did.
All well.
We did survive. Yes. Never mind.
Nothing's changed, but everything's
other
changed.
than the price of everything.
Yeah, that was probably doomed to happen anyways at some point.
This lady came in. So, quick story, side story. This lady came in, bought a couch 2 years ago. This is what put it in perspective for me. This was last week. Came in, bought a couch 2 years ago. Came in last week in order to switch it out due to a warranty issue. Came in. We still make the same couch. She bought the same couch. It was a $760 difference.
Wow.
$760.
Did she have to pay a dime extra?
Oh, she paid all of it.
But I thought it was under warranty.
Yeah, but she had to pay the difference.
Oh, that's not a good warranty then.
Well, she gets the value of the couch in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
So she got the value back. She got the full value back of the couch in 2019, but the couch in 2021. Are we into what year is it?
It's 21.
Okay,
Will it
cool.
be 2022?
Cool. So 2021.
Yeah.
2021 is $760 more.
That's bizarre.
Fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But, anyways. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead, dive into your intro, who you are. We also met at Gold's Gym, by the way. Gold's Fit. So we used to work out together. 9 o'clock. Always a fun time. Super cool. Always was super, what's the word? Just lively.
Yeah.
2 kids, still in great shape, still works out, no excuses.
No excuses. You got one vehicle. You better take care of it because it's got to last you till you're 99.
Boom, boom.
That's my goal.
Absolutely.
To live to 99. I don't want to live to 100.
99?
That's it. I'm
Just
good.
99 and stop.
Can't do much after 99, so I'm good.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Sara Hall, and I'm here to talk about anything science related because that is my true passion, interest, and focus in life. And I create solutions based upon science.
Okay.
And that's my path in life.
Oh, yeah. And so right before this, we were talking about, I guess, your thoughts connected to your DNA. Is that...
Yeah, and like I was mentioning, I was originally going to talk about honeybees, which we could still do that.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely...
But it's all related, right? Like, so my background is I have an undergraduate in wildlife and management and fisheries from Texas A&M. So I'm an Aggie. Whoop.
Okay.
And then I got my master's in biology and specifically microbiology at Texas State University, where I specialize in understanding what makes bacteria resistant to antibiotics. And then I got a patent application there with a molecule I discovered to help evade antibiotic resistance.
Ooh, so you discovered a molecule.
Yeah, well, more so the effects and how to evade antibiotic resistance.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so that's in the pipeline on a product. And then I got my first patent last week for an invention I made to redesign how medical nitrile gloves in a box go. I said, let's repackage this to dispense it like tissues so it comes out one by one.
Oh, okay. Instead of like...
stick your hand in the hole and like grab a clump.
Okay.
Because that's less effective and then contamination, right? So that's my first patent ever I've gotten issued. That was a celebration, and then now I got to run off to find a manufacturer to find that.
Well, that's super exciting.
It is. So
congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yep. So I used to use a science solution mind to think about how nature does things and make things more efficient. Because I always say, if you want the best solutions to problems, look at nature.
So what do you do for a job?
My day job is I'm an account manager, and I provide technical solutions to software. So I'm in the tech industry.
How did we get there?
Well, I got there because I said, I just want the job that provides the most amount of money for the least amount of work.
Okay, fair enough.
With the least...
We can understand that.
I was like, let me just pick a job that makes like at least 6 figures, and I can work from home, and I have the best health benefits, and then I can still do science on the side. Okay. And so you can do that. You just pick whatever you want to do in life and make that goal and then do it. And so
you do science on the side.
Yeah, I'm a moonlight scientist.
So at night.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean? They call that, that term, moonlighting.
No, that went.
I guess it's more common for hairdressers who like do hair out of their homes, but you can be a moonlight any like field, I guess.
Are you laughing because you knew the reference? Oh, well, yeah. You gonna just let me look stupid over here and not tell me? Sheesh.
It's fine. It's fine.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right. So
these solutions I make on the side, they're long pipelines of product development. They take like 5 to 10 years, sometimes 20 years. So I got to keep the money to live and pay groceries.
Sure.
And contribute to the household. So.
Absolutely. So got your day job. All right, day job's cool. Let's talk about the moonlight part.
Yeah.
So, science.
Yeah, everything, it's all connected. It's all related. So you could literally pick any subject, and I can tell you the science behind it, and everything down from bacteria to human metabolics to insects to large mammals, if you will. So if you wanted to understand more about like our autonomic system and why I was mentioning why it's so important.
That was quite a word.
Your autonomic system?
Yes.
Nervous system. So your nervous system has 2 parts. Your parasympathetic. Oh my gosh! And I don't want to say this incorrectly. Parasympathetic system. Google it. You're supposed to be like, what's his name on Joe Rogan, who like pulls up the stuff.
Jamie. Fingers.
Yeah, Jamie.
Come on, fingers.
Parasympathetic system. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, okay.
So think about it as the rest and digest. This is a system that's going to control your hair growing, your soft muscle tissue in your stomach, your digestive system. This is what you want on. And then the fight or flight system is the opposite one, called the sympathetic nervous system. And so that's what people run on all the time. They are in fight or flight, they're stressed, they're worked up, they're anxious, and they have a hard time getting out of that mental pattern.
So how do you fix that?
So I'm just getting into this myself and understanding techniques that can get you out of it. Like, you've got to break that thought pattern. So I'm a
super anxious person.
Okay.
Super anxious.
I know many people that struggle with anxiety.
Pacing. The littlest of things will
drive you up.
I'm very much I pay too much attention, so I constantly patterns, and once that pattern gets broken, I just.
So do you suffer from like the classic symptoms of anxiety, which are you're finding something to blame your anxiety on?
Sure.
You're going to find something wrong. I feel this way, so I'm going to find something.
Absolutely. And
I'm going to blame it. It's that. That's why I feel this way. But you really should challenge that thought. Just because you think something doesn't mean it's real.
But how do you... how does it not win?
How do you make that overcome that?
Yeah.
You need to start challenging those thoughts.
Okay, but even if you challenge it,
you could take a step back. So if you're already there's certain levels of anxiety. If you're at like a level 10 and you feel your heart is racing and you feel like your blood pressure's up, there may be certain like
not so much heart racing.
Okay.
More so just like pacing.
That's a cue for you. Is your pacing?
Pacing for sure. Yeah.
That's your cue.
So
or then you need
sometimes nauseous.
You need to breathe.
Okay.
you need to stop and breathe. So you can physically trigger your parasympathetic nervous system and get out of that by slow breathing. And there's always like breathing techniques people do where they say like
Wim Hof,
like draw a box where it's like 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold, like that. There's a couple other ways. So just getting your chemistry down first, get it down, and then you have a second battle to face. You have long-term wiring of your anxiety, and those are physical neurons in your brain. And if you think about a trail through the forest, the more you use that trail, the more it's going to be defined, and that neurological pathway will be physically in your brain, and it's going to be a thick neuron because it keeps being used, and it's going to be growing and growing stronger.
I kind of feel
so you got to get that to be a weaker train of thought and start training yourself to use other thought processes.
I kind of feel like it comes from like anytime I ever wanted to do something, I would always get like the negatives of doing it.
What do you mean?
So, like, for instance, say, I don't know. I'm like, okay, I want to invest in this company, just for an example.
Mm-hmm.
And then you tell that to somebody. And then that person is like, well, if you do that, what if you lose all your money? Like, that's usually, like, someone's, like, first response. And I feel like growing up, that was pretty common. Like, I feel like my parents are very much, some people would say realistic, but then also I would say pessimistic in the sense of, like, okay, I want to do this. And then they'd be like, okay, so what if this or happened? Well,
really common parenting that they're just concerned. They don't want anything bad to happen to
sure.
you. They don't want you to have any hurt or harm.
Yeah.
Or they don't want,
and no fault of them.
They don't want anything bad to happen to you.
Yeah.
But you need that. You need to stumble, fall, and fail.
Sure.
Like, it's part of life.
And so I feel like that was a big thing. And then, like you said, it's just like I find something to validate what it is that is in my head. So, like, something will happen, I'll be like, oh, okay, so this happened, and I feel this way. And then I'll go back in time to try to validate why I feel like that in the moment.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, so I don't know if you were thinking, like, the worst case scenario could happen, or
absolutely.
Like, what if. So that's also a symptom of anxiety, is to jump to the worst case scenario.
Straight to it.
Yeah. That's a classic symptom.
Straight to it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good therapy session.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't
well,
even
now
know.
you know. Now you know.
This
is what you're here for.
Never spoke to anyone about how to manage and deal with anxiety. To be honest, my husband's my greatest teacher.
Okay.
Because
what does he do?
Struggles with it too.
Oh, okay. So
yeah. So I help try to coach him too.
Mm-hmm.
He's taught me like a tremendous amount of about anxiety. I've never lived or known someone that struggles with anxiety.
What do you tell him?
I tell him to challenge his thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
breathe. He knows to breathe. I do tell him to challenge his thoughts, but I see him absolutely suffer with anxiety.
Oh, it's not fun.
He suffers.
It's not fun. And like I said,
Yeah.
it's like I pay attention to patterns. And so once that pattern is broken, it's just instant.
What do you mean the pattern is broken?
Like,
what do you mean
so say a certain person does this every single day.
Okay.
Or they do it frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And then if something happens over that frequency where they stray from that for whatever reason, unknown, like the unknown reason, then it just kicks in. So
someone changes their predictability and then it sets you off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
So you're like, that's not what I was expecting.
That sounds terrible.
Your expectations weren't met about their behavior, and then it upsets you.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah, that sounds really terrible when you say it out loud, but yeah, that's kind of what it is.
I don't know the exact example, but I'm just saying.
No.
Like,
I mean, that's damn near. That's pretty accurate. It's like
that's a human.
I guess I try to
response.
predict people, and I'm pretty good at it. And then when it strays from that, I'm like, holy fuck, what just happened?
Yeah, you can never control someone else's actions. You can
Sure.
only control your reaction.
Sure.
And that's hard.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard because then it's just it fucks with me. But then once the pattern in my head is corrected, then it goes away.
Once you feel like they're back to what I can expect them to be like.
Yeah.
Okay, then you're like, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
What could someone do that's not predictable that would upset you? Like they didn't take the trash out, and they always take the trash out on Tuesday, and then they didn't do it one day.
That could be.
Or
it.
like, or like they wear blue, they wear pink on Wednesday, and then they wore blue.
But essentially, yes.
Okay.
That is kind of it.
A change in your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that seems normal. That in the job field, that's a common thing too. Like a customer expects this level of support, they don't get that, then they're like, ah,
Yeah. Are you super anxious? Like I will.
You have to ask, is it worth it? Is it worth getting anxious over? You know what I mean? You gotta question. Give yourself that question.
Almost never.
Yeah.
Unless you're right. That's the issue.
Just because you think it doesn't mean it's right.
I know. So then you struggle with that because then it's like if I'm right, which sometimes you can be.
That is a symptom of anxiety. To say the two words, I'm going to call you out. The two words you probably say in your head are a lot are what if.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
If you're saying that, 90% of the time, just say, I'm probably wrong.
Usually.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually that ends up being the case.
Why don't you start to change that habit and say, well, what, instead of saying, what if it doesn't work? Or what if the worst case scenario? What if the best case scenario? What if it isn't, you know?
Okay.
I've taken a lot of risk in my life. High risk, even what I'm doing with product development. Less than 5% of patents ever make it to market. I think it's less than 1% of applications ever get issuance, and I got it. If I would have said, I have less than 1% chance of making anything off of this $10,000, that's a huge risk to roll.
Sure. But how do you control that? It's very easy to say, right?
Yeah.
I can sit here and listen to...
I don't tell people what I'm doing, by the way, until it's done. So I don't get any negative feedback from anybody. And you're more inclined to do something if you don't tell people about it, because then the urge becomes stronger with you. If you share your idea, then the urge becomes less.
I 100% agree. I've seen that, and I've tried that. So how do you control the urge to not tell somebody?
Because I've been disappointed so many times by what people want to say about it that I like hold a lot of like gruff of just from like growing up that I have a point to prove to everyone that I'll become wildly successful.
Okay. Interesting.
So I can be like in your face.
Interesting.
So if you want to be like in your face to people, keep it to yourself. And tell people what you did, not what you're going to do.
Okay. I understand that. I guess.
But let's talk about a true plan to change your habits of thought processes.
Well,
because I think that's what will help you in the future.
So my point of view from that point, right, of telling people things, I always rationalize it as the sense of like, I talk things out. And I talk it out loud to other people in order to help rationalize my own ideas.
Okay. And in that case, because you struggle with conflicting thoughts that are probably not valid, you need to have a partner that's always here to tell you, like, it can be good. It can be successful.
Yes.
It's going to be fine. You need someone in your life to be that voice to help you until you can control and get that working, you know? So if you have that person, tell that person. But don't tell your aunt that's a gossip queen, right? I mean...
Oh, sure. No, I see what you're saying. Okay, plan.
Don't tell things to petty people.
That's a good one. Okay. So the plan.
Just the positive people.
Positive people.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you can't... People are like, oh, get more positive friends, get more successful friends. Like, that's hard to find and do when you have family and friends that have been ingrained in your life for 20, 30 years. Yeah, I mean, that's not going away.
It is hard. And as you get older, it's harder and harder to make new friends.
Sure.
So you hold on to the old friends.
Especially when you, like, get married, you have kids, right? That just becomes a bubble. It's harder to allocate time to even old friends, much less new.
Sure. It takes a lot of effort, too.
Right? I'm already run down. I got two tots.
Yeah.
The tots at home run me down.
Right? But you're still here, though. I appreciate it.
I am. I felt good about it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get out. I'm going to get out of the house. My husband is helping me out. He's
on his own
holding
today.
down the fort.
On his own, holding out the fort.
He can handle it.
Good for him.
He does.
Good for him.
He's a good dad.
So this plan. What we got?
Yeah. So, yeah, you got two things to work on. Is going to be getting your body out of fight or flight. And so that's a huge component of sleep. What is your sleep like?
Oh, my... Normally pretty fantastic.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good sign that your body is able to get into that.
Yeah, sleep is usually pretty good. I would say like 96% of the time, sleep is pretty good.
I also learned recently, what podcast was it? The most restorative sleep is between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m.
Okay.
So windows of time are important of when you sleep as well.
Okay.
So sleeping 9 hours between 2 a.m. and 11 a.m. is not as effective as 10 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Okay.
Our body has a lot of circadian rhythms that responds to our natural environment too, so takes into effect. But yeah, I'm learning, like, now that I don't get that much sleep with toddlers, I'm learning about the effects of how important sleep is, and I'm like,
So we have the fortunate of working for furniture stores where we get a wonderful discount on very nice mattresses. So we both sleep on
sleep like angels.
Yeah, we both sleep on Tempur-Pedics. So sleep has always been.
Is that the best mattress?
Oh, absolutely.
A Tempur-Pedic?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. There's nothing better.
Okay.
So we both. Well, I don't know about him, but I sleep pretty good normally.
Yeah.
Except when we're house sitting for my editor.
Oh yeah, when you're sleeping on something
Get them
else.
the discount on the Tempur-Pedic.
Right?
We have one for their room, not for the guys.
Yeah, they need another one. So sleep, I feel like, is pretty good, and it's not usually interrupted unless I'm super anxious at night, which doesn't happen too frequently unless something's going on, like something specific. So for the most part, sleep's pretty good. And I would say even when I was on a better sleep schedule, I'm not on as good of a sleep schedule right now, just because I'm still trying to balance everything in life. Handling this, selling the house, getting a new girlfriend, X, Y, Z, 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 Z. So sleep schedule.
It's a new girlfriend?
Hmm?
It's a new girlfriend?
Yes.
How long have you guys been dating?
So it'll be 3 months next week.
Oh,
but
that's
we've
very
known each
exciting.
other for 8 years.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
We dated prior as well.
Okay.
So sleep schedule has been a little different than it was, but even when the sleep schedule was, quote unquote, between those time frames that you would be referring to, I don't feel like I was any more or any less anxious.
Okay, that's good. That's good you got that knocked out. That's like a huge, huge thing for your brain.
Sleep's okay.
That's really important. Good. So yeah, you just got to work, I think, on when you're feeling it, get your body physically out of that state. And so that can be breathing or meditating, which I'm no expert at all. Like, I have minimal experience with it. I've done it. I've tried it. It's not my habit and it's not my daily routine, but I want it to be. But I've heard great things.
Sure.
And being able to, like, create a good headspace, right? And then you're you're firing good neurons in your brain that are building strength over time as you use those pathways, at which will set your body into a good state too for not being in fight or flight.
And so what does meditating mean to you? Like, what would you do?
Man,
or what do you do?
I have gotten into some pretty deep meditative states when using acupuncture.
Okay.
And it is a kind of a phenomenon space between like a spiritual realm almost. It's pretty incredible space to be in. And I've been into some few deep meditative states where it's almost like you're looking at the back of your eyelid, and then I'm seeing different like shapes and colors that can be representative of chakras or all kinds of things. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay. So acupuncture helps.
That can immediately throw me into a deep meditative state. Some people say acupuncture is like resetting the bioenergetics of your body.
And what's that?
Because there's something to be said about the level of energy in everybody's body, right? You can tell someone's energy. You can say, oh, that person's energetic. You can definitely sense a vibe from people. So what is that? I mean, that's got to be something.
Sure.
Right? We hardly investigate and research the energy field that our body puts out. So it's like a very untouched field. Some may call that like bioenergetics. And that's like basically the energy field that every body has.
It's got to be a real thing.
I think it's a real thing.
It has to be a real thing.
It is a real thing.
Because when you walk into a place, immediately you're like, ooh. Or you're like, ooh.
That's right.
It's almost instant.
Some people can pick up on it easier than others. I feel like I'm a little more sensitive to other people's energy.
I would agree with myself.
And you have to be good at creating a boundary with that energy. Some people let other people's energy, like, you know, spread, right? Negativity. It spreads. We know that.
I can definitely be that way in the sense of like when we dealing with people all day long, it's very easy to just get torn down and just negative and be so negative.
You got to have strong energy to combat that.
But sometimes it's just easier to be petty.
And just make fun of them?
Yeah.
That is so fun. I mean, who doesn't like it? Oh my God, I'm guilty.
Or be petty or get a satisfaction.
I know.
Or get a satisfaction from giving it to them back. Even though it doesn't serve us any purpose.
Yeah.
We're full commission, so it doesn't do anything for us to serve it back. But sometimes it's just so satisfying. And it is easier to
You know
be
what's
that way.
more satisfying than showing someone the reflection of themselves?
Making more money.
Watching them change.
Yes.
Watching them change. Watching them come in the door in a shitty ass state of mind and elevating them out of it.
And that is fair.
Because it's easy to give someone a reflection of what they're putting out. And
For
they are that way because that's what other people do to them. Is they show them a reflection of themselves. You're gonna be shitty to me, I'm gonna be shitty to you.
It's true.
You be nice to me, I'll be nice to you.
Yeah, and it's very easy to get kind of stuck in that habit.
Am I always nice to people that are shitty to me? No.
Yeah.
Right? Like, some days I don't have it. Some days I do. To be like, you know what, I'm going to cut this person a break. Sounds like they have a pretty shitty life. They probably...
They're just having a bad day.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
I'm just going to help make this day a little better for them. But some days, I may dish it back, you know? I can't be like... I'm not consistent across the board.
And I mean, that's essentially what we do all day. It's either you dish it back or you try to overcome it. That's essentially sales 101. Like, you either dish it back and don't get anything for it, but you get that little bit of satisfaction of like, or you choose to overcome it and make more money. But it's tough.
Yeah, that's a balance.
It is. Okay. Let's switch gears.
Sure.
What you here for?
Oh, yeah. You want to switch gears on the bees?
Sure.
And go for
Let's
it for
hear
a little bit? Yeah.
Go for it.
So I got into beekeeping. I've always said I wanted to do it.
Okay.
And then about 4 years ago was when I committed. Pre-kids. I was like, I'm doing it. And I bought a hive of bees. You can do that. You can buy a small group of bees.
Where do you buy a hive of bees?
There's like these local bee groups in every county and every state in the United States. They're like bee club people.
Okay.
Let me tell you the demographic of bee people.
Let's
people.
Hear it. Let's hear it.
Bee people are typically like 50 and up, and white males is like the general demographic of many beekeepers. Although women have really, like, in the last 4, 5, 7 years made a huge presence. And then took in that presence and put it on social media. There is just like incredible female beekeepers right now that are making strides in education. What do you think
changed that? Or what do you think led to that?
Females doing it?
Yeah.
Because it's a craft. It's an art. And women by nature are crafty and have art, right?
Okay.
And instilled in them to some degree. And they have taken off with photography and social media. I don't see any old white dudes doing it. So these girls rock.
Okay, so they're the ones kind of giving it more publicity, you'd say.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're sharing the story of bees and why it's important. So.
And what made you want to do this?
I have a background in science, so I love all living organisms. I have a master's in biology, and that's truly what I love. Anything living, any energy system that lives in our planet, I'm into it.
So there's a cockroach in your house.
I'm not into cockroaches, but I know a lot of facts about them. I understand their capabilities and I truly respect them as a creature that has survived millions of years and can survive 9 days without a head. I mean, that's incredible.
I guess that's something respectable.
There's
something respectable.
They can withstand radiation, all kinds of stuff.
But they're gross.
They're actually like technically clean, but because I think it was instilled, they don't carry much disease or bacteria.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what does dirty mean?
Ooh, what does dirty mean?
It's perception.
Ah, okay.
So I'm not a germaphobe. I truly believe that most microbes are good for us or neutral, and a very small percentage are pathogenic or bad for us.
So I have no merit whatsoever in this. However, I feel like people who are ultra germaphobes are doing themselves more harm by like when people constantly wash their hands like over and over and over again, like all day long.
Yeah, to that extent, I don't think it serves their immune system well.
Yeah, I don't think it's good.
Your immune system does need to be interacting with its environment in order to sustain resistance, right? So it's constantly and reacting to germs you're picking up. Here's another thing people don't realize. We are not only constantly interacting with bacteria, we're doing the exact same thing with viruses. We're constantly picking up viruses every single day, and we don't even know it. We always think, I have a virus, it's got to be bad for us. Not necessarily at all. Tons of viruses that we pick up, our body reacts to it, it's totally normal. It may react, may not.
So it could be not necessarily good, or maybe more so neutral, or
exactly. Just
okay.
It's just there. Our body reacts to it. We don't even notice that we picked it up or did it, and we have it. We're carriers. So that would be called the virome, our living system, including all the viruses that live in it. And then there's the microbiome, which is the system of all the bacteria that live in our bodies as well.
Okay. Supposedly I'm a carrier of strep throat. Is what I was told. I don't know.
Everybody has
Dang.
strep.
Yeah,
I think
was
everybody
like...
has strep. And everyone thinks like, oh, strep throat's going around. That's what my kid's school says. But everybody has strep. It's what's called opportunistic bacteria. And it's going to proliferate or have its day on your body whenever your immune system's down. So they're always there, and they're hiding, and they're living happily. And then when your immune system goes down, they're like, now's our chance. And flourish. And then it flourishes as a secondary response to your immune system being down to maybe virus, stress, something else going on, allergies. Something that has compromised your immune system will proliferate the opportunistic bacteria.
Okay, so before we get back to the bees.
Sorry, I'm
this
like all over the place.
No, this is good though. Before we get back to the bees, I guess what tips are there for people to help their immune system? What do you recommend?
Food. Yeah, so if you are eating shitty food and your body is constantly responding to that food with an inflammation response, that's a large portion of your immune system busy, occupied, not able to help you whenever you are sick. So you're like cutting your immune system in half. And also you're now compromised because you don't have your entire immune system with you. It's busy over here trying to repair all your gut because you just ate like 8 hot dogs or something stupid. So and then chronically dealing with inflammation of all of your intestine, you're chronically living at a lower level of immune health. And that's a large population of the United States right now.
Okay.
And I don't think it's the people's fault. I used to blame the people. I used to say, you know what you should do, eat vegetables and work out. And the people have not changed. Look at the people in the 60s and the 70s. Look at the photos of people. Nobody's fat. The food has changed.
And
There's certain amount of responsibility we should place on people. There's a larger responsibility we should place on the corporate food industry.
So how do you fix that?
I mean, that's our government, so good luck with that. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard solution.
Yeah, it's just...
We're screwed.
That's not what I want to hear.
Sorry.
I already feel like
I can only fix myself. I can't fix other people.
I know. It's crazy. We're in a wild time. Right now is a wild time. Wild.
It's however you want to perceive it.
Yeah.
There's a quote by Einstein says that the greatest decision you'll ever make in your life is to choose whether you believe you live in a hostile or friendly world.
Damn.
That'll be your perspective of the world, though.
That is true. I had to stop talking about stuff like this, like the world and like what's going on, because it's just too much. It's too much.
Does it overwhelm your anxiety? Does it drive your anxiety?
100%. It is way too much. It's too much. I can't do it. Like talking about COVID or talking about the vaccine or talking about.
It's fine.
It's just too much.
Fine.
It's too much. Is it fine though?
It's fine.
Are we
It is
fine?
what it is. Just make your own reality. Just make your own reality. I tell my husband, he gets sucked into.
But you have to live in this reality,
he gets sucked into the politics and like the stuff that's going on. He's like, this is our life. This is what matters. Our future for our kids and like all this. And like, I get it. That's super important. But if you're not out there at the White House marching or standing behind the microphone in the White House, what difference are you making by reading it?
But if everybody thought like that, then nothing gets different.
You're right. This is important. But again, like, it's not my
I agree
role
with
in
your
life.
point of view. I'm just saying.
I'm going to be a scientist. I'm not going to be a politician. I've already made that decision. So I'm not making any change in the political system. I already know that. So there's no point in me getting drawn in or sucked into the negativity of these fucking liars. Yeah. So
it's also crazy that people think that it's actually going to change.
Yeah. It is what it is. But yeah, like, don't sweat it. Like, you can't like overthink it.
Oh, overthinking.
You have over-analysis paralysis.
Oh, for sure. For sure. 100%. That's all I do.
Over-analysis paralysis?
All day long. It's literally what I do.
You can't do that. Long. That will drag your ass down.
That's what you're here. That exactly. That is what. Yes, I'm well aware. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
So you have very historically ingrained thought processes that were probably given to you, unfortunately, by your parents. So you're gonna have to untangle those neurons. Have you traveled much? I don't know if you've traveled much outside this country.
Okay, not a ton, but
that
I have.
Will also
I have
help
though.
You.
I have.
Okay.
So I went to Spain and Italy and the UK a couple years ago, 2019.
That's great.
I went to New York 2 weekends ago.
That's cool.
That was fun. We did a few road trips when I was younger, across country, Maryland to Alaska, Alaska to Texas, about 3 weeks each. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of places. Been to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm very.
That's good. That's good. That's more than some Americans. That's good.
So I do my fair share of traveling. I consider myself a fairly much more cultured person than most.
Good.
I enjoy that stuff. That's what I really enjoy.
Yeah, it's great,
like when I was in New York, my favorite part was that it was an absolute melting pot. Mm-hmm. You'd be walking down the street and there's just 4 different languages going on, just multiple different conversations, and just every different kind of person possible.
Culture's great. I love it. I don't think we should drown it out. I think it's awesome.
I love it.
I think we should celebrate everyone's culture and stop telling everyone that we're all the same and celebrate why we're different.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yes. So, wait, where were you getting with that?
Sorry.
With that?
Tangent. So just understanding like your long historical thought processes. Mm-hmm. That you could change it. You could change it tomorrow. So this is why.
Okay.
Science behind your brain.
Okay.
There's a term, and Paul Stamets, the mycologist, is a big advocate of this terminology called neuroplasticity, and creating new neural connections in the brain, and that helps break old connections in the brain. And he does it through like psychedelics to create like a ton of new neural connections.
I've done mushrooms
to solve problems, but I don't know. You still have to think about you have that old trail in the forest that your brain is going to want to use, and even if you start working tomorrow, it takes a long time for that trail to be overgrown by the forest again, and your brain still. Sorry to say, but probably for the rest of your life, your brain still may want to use that trail. But you're going to have to fight the urge to want to use that thought process of, when I think of something that I want to do, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe not. No, it's not the right time. Probably won't work out. Like those. You immediately, your brain's going to go there immediately. You won't even be able to help it. It's just going to go. And you're going to be like, damn it, I went there. Because it got there before you could even think how it even got there.
Sure.
How did I get here thinking this way? It's going to take time to recognize that you're there on that old trail and then say, okay, well, what if I think of the opposite of that? So you're thinking worst case scenario. By the time you realize, oh my God, I'm in the worst case scenario. And don't feel guilty, by the way. Don't beat yourself up over going down the old trail. That's another symptom of anxiety is guilt. So you're going to feel guilty, like, oh, here I am, like thinking this way. Just give yourself a break and say, it's fine. I'm here. It is what it is. Then go the best case scenario. That's the only place you can start.
Yeah.
You're going to have to start somewhere.
Sure.
And when you get to the worst case, say, okay, I realize now I'm at the worst case. I magically got here. What the hell? Just start thinking of the best case. And truly, by changing your thought processes over time, if you do worst case, best case, then what's going to happen is your mind's going to bounce so fast. It's going to go idea, worst case, best case. Because right now it's idea, worst case, idea, worst case.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I want you to do is go idea, worst case, think. Maybe best case. And it's going to take a little bit of time to trail over to the best case. But then eventually your thought process will go idea, best, worst. Or sorry, worst, best. Like it has to become faster.
Okay. Okay. We're going to work on that. We're going to do that.
It's just do that one little thing.
Yeah.
Only when you're at the worst case.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you do some it's not that bad, maybe what if. Don't give yourself a hard time. But really don't put yourself in the worst case scenario. That's shitty thinking.
It is. No, I agree. I'm with you. I agree. It is.
You know exactly how to train your body. You're an expert and athlete. Become that for your mind. And being an athlete is a very mental process.
That's why, yeah.
So it's just another avenue of strength.
Mental fortitude.
I think more people should understand this conversation, because so many people struggling with anxiety.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know why it's proliferated in the last 10 years. You didn't ever hear people say, I have anxiety when we were growing up.
I was just talking about that at work. Yeah, I was just talking about that at work. I think a lot of people are in denial.
Or did you think it existed? The anxiety was there, but we didn't understand it? We didn't have a word for it?
I think people just... I don't even think dealt with it is the proper term. I think literally just hit it, almost. I will be talking to somebody, and he'll know who I'm talking about, but not to say names. I'll be talking to somebody, and he'll be explaining to me his thought process about why he doesn't want to do X, Y, and Z. And I'll be like, this is literally anxiety. But then he'll tell you that he doesn't necessarily believe in anxiety or the mental health awareness that we have tried to be, we've tried to build over the last 10 years, like you said. And I'm like, no, you're literally giving me all of the same symptoms. I know because I'm that person. I know because we think so similarly. And I just think that it just wasn't acceptable, maybe. I don't know, or just wasn't
aware. There was no awareness of what anxiety was.
Yeah.
And then now I hear teenagers saying, I have anxiety. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, and then of course there's always the other side of it, where it gets too extreme.
Everyone thinks they have anxiety.
Sure. Sure. And
because it's okay to have worry. It's okay to be excited.
So
these things are okay.
That's what I struggle with.
Not in excessive amounts.
Yeah, that's what I struggle with. So I talked about this the other night with my girlfriend. I was like, I wish I could feel what someone else feels like for a day, so that I could justify how I feel, or be like, okay, Jordan, you're just being a bitch. So there's I wish I could feel how someone else felt.
Calm.
Or just to see how they went through a day to day, and if they felt the same, or if they didn't feel the same, so that I could be like, okay, they feel the same, so there is something here actually, or no, they don't feel the same, so I need to get my shit together. Does that make sense? I wish I could.
So you want to understand if you're feeling, is that normal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
you're am I
justified.
Am I within the normal range, or am I excessive?
Exactly. Precisely.
You know who could tell you the correct answer to that? Well, you've only been 3 months in this relationship, but the girlfriend would be able to give you the correct answer. The person who spends the most of the time with you will give you the correct answer.
Okay.
Believe what she says. What does she think about your anxiety? Have you talked about this? This is a new relationship. I don't know.
We've talked about it, but not necessarily in a feedback sense. It's just more so me talking about how I feel or how I operate.
Okay. Because that may be a conversation you may want to have to be like, hey, this is a thing. You could help me if you did X, Y, Z. Maybe be my partner to help me out.
Yeah.
To say, Jordan, you're just being crazy. You're being anxious. But then here's another thing: is if I try to make my husband aware of times that he's feeling anxious, he goes, "I'm not anxious."
I feel like I do a fairly decent job of admitting when I'm in that state, or at least
That's good.
I feel like I do.
That's good.
I feel like I'm fairly conscious of it. I just don't know how to get out of it. So I'm very conscious of that state.
That's a huge problem. Like that's the problem everybody has. Is
so I'm very conscious of it.
They get there and they're like, "Fuck, how do I get out of this state of mind? It sucks. It's absolutely horrible." I watch my husband suffer in those moments, you know, and he says out loud, "I don't want to feel like this." Nobody wants to feel like that.
Yeah, I get that 100%. I feel that.
Sometimes sleeping it off is like the only option, you know.
It genuinely, sometimes that's literally what it is. Sometimes
how to make it go away.
You gotta go to sleep.
Just to get it to go away.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to take like medication for it?
Mm-mm.
You haven't gotten
I
to
just
that
thought
point.
about this recently.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, am I getting there?
Low key, yeah. Yes.
Like, am I almost at that point where I gotta?
Yeah, a little bit.
There's a whole.
Because I don't remember always being this bad, but then I think about it and I'm like, no, it's always been this bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But I feel like I'm more conscious of it now. Oh, hello.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole layer of therapy before pharmaceuticals.
Mm-hmm.
There's what's called cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay.
And that's basically like kind of what I've mapped out. You think negative, you think idea, worst case scenario. Immediately you tell yourself, okay, now you gotta start thinking about the best case scenario. That's cognitive behavioral therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to train the physical train of thought in your brain. Let the forest take over that trail.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's work, right? And nobody wants to do work. So that's why pills have been like the solution for a lot of people.
I
feel like you could do the work.
I want to work at this.
I know you would.
No,
I know you would. I know you could.
I genuinely want to work at this.
Because you have the will.
I genuinely want to work at this because it
Yeah.
drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah. And
Like,
hey, you know what? Like, this is
it literally drives me
amazing that
nuts.
you're challenging yourself to do this and work on this because this is before you have kids.
I try to work on this because this
you don't
impacts
wanna-
other people in my life.
Yeah, and you don't want to like have kids with anxiety, right? Because then they see you anxious, it makes them anxious, and then like, why is Dad all anxious? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And long down the road, you know.
No.
You got a long time.
That's a fair statement though, because it's true, right? Like, it just drives me up the fucking wall. Like, it's just crazy. Like,
I mean, it's good that you're choosing opportunity for self improvement. I think that's the way everyone should be.
I constantly try to.
It's good.
I constantly try to, because it impacts other people in my life, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you'd be
then I do
surprised
stupid
how things may align for you universally with clear thoughts and patterns, right? What you put out there, universally, is what comes back to you.
It can, and that is what I'm trying to get back to. Because when I created the podcast, for those like 3-4 months, there was no anxiety whatsoever, and I was fucking unstoppable. But then
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
It was incredible.
To live without anxiety.
It was incredible. And then just over a period of time, it just kind of spiraled back out to where I'm at now.
Interesting on how that happened, where you got back to this spot. I wonder what changed.
I don't know what changed. That's the thing. I don't know what changed. Everything was going great.
I feel like that was right after you had like this epiphany.
It was. That's what I'm talking about. So there was like a 3 to 4 month period that virtually unstoppable. Unstoppable. Could have done anything I wanted to, and it was all lining up.
Something stemmed that epiphany though.
What was the
It was
epiphany?
a very, very, very copious amounts of marijuana that stimulated this.
Actually, that was my next question.
Okay.
Was how frequent is your marijuana use?
No more.
None at all.
Not that much.
Because
no.
that drives, if my husband does, he will get driven up for
It
him.
would make me worse.
Yes. I
But
do not, for people
better
who
at the same
have
time.
anxiety, I do not recommend any marijuana use.
I agree. It would spiral me more. But now I feel like I'm almost to the point as anxious as I would be when I'm high, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? Because during that period, didn't smoke at all. It was right before my first fight. Well, right before my only fight, that tournament. For those 3 to 4 months, just...
Were you eating differently?
I mean, I was super strict for cutting for the fight.
Were you cutting carbs?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty heavy keto.
Do you have okay? Yeah, that may be a good diet you want to investigate as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a connection between our gut flora and our brain, and there's now learning that is a second brain, is the stomach.
Okay.
Because there's so much chemicals that are being created here that are being sent to the brain. So that means the stomach is controlling the brain, telling it what to do, how to act, how to react, how to feel. And that includes all of our dopamine levels, serotonin levels. Everything about how we feel can be connected to the microbes that live in our digestive system. So if you're eating high amounts of sugar, that's going to like drive anxiety, cravings. I don't think you eat high sugar. I don't think you have a sweet tooth.
I can.
Then you don't.
I can.
If you can, then you don't. I mean like someone who is eating a lot of sugar, like boxes of candy or like
oh, well, I mean,
sodas.
if I start, it's a wrap.
So you're a binger?
Yeah.
Oh.
If I open
I
that
feel like
bag,
men do that.
okay, if I open that bag of candy, it's a
Yeah.
wrap. But I
Okay.
can go a long period of time without opening that bag of candy.
Okay, but when you do, then you're a binger.
Oh, when I do, it's the whole bag.
Oh my
it's
God.
all or nothing. Very much so.
Yeah.
It's all or nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you gotta think about that. I mean, that's a component you could look at. You could try and do keto again.
I know.
See what happens. Too strict though.
It is too.
It's not sustainable.
I know. I try to find that.
I do intermittent
that
fasting.
balance.
I do intermittent fasting.
Yeah, and I do every once in a while. Or I used to, more so. I just try to find that balance though, because I still want to enjoy life.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to feel like that. So it's like, teetering that line.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
that
mental health is
balance.
really inclusive of a lot of things. If you are complaining that you are depressed or you have high anxiety, but you're eating like shit, you're sleeping like shit, and you're not working out, you're not really giving yourself a fair chance.
Sure. That seems fair. Yeah.
So people don't ever want to address or do the work, right? People don't want to put the work
Mm-hmm.
in to fix what's wrong with them. They're like, just go to the doctor, give me a pill. So you're saying maybe I shouldn't change my diet? Why? Just take this pill. Yeah.
It'll all go away. You won't feel nothing ever
Yep.
again.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people should really be more conclusive. Blood work, brain
Mhm.
scans,
Mhm.
right? Like, investigate a little further before you just
Costs money,
prescribe
though.
somebody. You're right. It's true.
Costs money.
This is true.
So, I mean, that's a whole... Well, that leads us
Yeah.
down a whole nother
Yeah.
rabbit hole. Bees. So,
Yeah.
so
Let's just stick with mental health. I think it's good. Mental health of bees is amazing, by the way. They're happy.
bees are happy.
Let me tell you one thing.
Okay.
The bees have a certain hum, certain sound they
Mhm.
make, and I've kind of like learned this hum, and they make a certain hum when they're depressed or not happy, and if they are not working, so that means in times where there's no food, dead of summer or winter, there's no flowers, they're kind of depressed, which it's true about people too, right? Like if you're not working, you're not serving a purpose, you're not going to be like happy.
Absolutely.
And everyone says they want to retire and lay around, but my God, you got to have a purpose in a
Yeah.
sense, something to do.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much... Yeah. Retiring and laying around is not the goal. It's more like retiring and doing something that you enjoy.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
the goal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
If you could retire tomorrow and do whatever you wanted to do, what would you do?
What would I do? I'd travel.
Travel, good choice. Yeah,
I would travel.
I agree. I would do
I
something
would
like that.
travel. I want to see the world.
If you could pick anywhere in the world you would want to travel next, where would you go?
I really want to go to Thailand.
That's on my
or-
list too.
I really want to go to Thailand or any other Asian country.
Yeah, where it's just like more different than say Europe or something
Mm-hmm.
culturally.
Yeah. Europe was cool. I loved Italy.
Mhm.
Spain was fantastic. Wasn't a big fan of the UK. Mainly because the food wasn't that good. The people were fine. The
Yeah.
museum was great, but the food wasn't that good. And food is what speaks to my soul, which goes back to the issue of being super strict. Because food is just... I love food.
Yeah.
Nothing makes me happier than food.
I think it's the source of happiness in life.
Yeah,
But
food is great, and
all
great
comes
food
back
is
to-
great.
agree.
Yeah, I
Agree.
mean, last night we went to Soto right up here.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just-
That's top sushi. That is
so good.
top sushi.
It's just so
Yeah.
good. It makes your heart smile.
That's a bill to
So
eat there,
good.
though.
Yeah, well.
You have an occasion. Maybe like a birthday or like
Yeah.
anniversary or something.
It was expensive, but
I ate sushi there when I was pregnant. I was like, this is good sushi.
oh,
That's a crock of shit when they tell women that they can't eat sushi when they're pregnant.
that's impressive.
No, you know why they say that?
Why?
Because they're like, oh, if you get food poisoning from the sushi, you don't want to be eating food that could get you sick while you're pregnant.
But couldn't any food?
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
technically, any food could get
And
you
I'm
sick.
like, where are you people getting sushi from? The gas station? I mean, choose sushi that's not going to make you sick.
Yeah, that.
And
is-
nobody talks about spinach, and that's like one of the highest cases of food poisoning. Well, chicken's number one, but spinach, there's a lot of contamination in
I got
spinach,
fucked
like E. coli.
up from some bad lettuce.
Yeah,
The
I've-
worst
I've
food
done it
poisoning.
too.
The worst food
It was
the
probably E.
worst
coli.
food poisoning I've ever had was from bad lettuce.
Me too. I've had
It's
it once
terrible.
in Mexico. I ate a salad with spinach and romaine lettuce, and I got incredibly ill.
It was terrible.
I was throwing up for like
Yeah.
24 hours.
Oh, it was like 24 to 48 hours of just not good.
It's that E. coli.
It was bad. Wait, where were we?
We're just circling around ways to help you with your anxiety, because I think
Well-
other people are in that hole.
I think. Okay.
And this could help, right? I like to serve a purpose
Okay.
and educate people
So,
to
if you,
like.
I mean, if you want to continue to dive into that, we
I
definitely
mean,
can.
so we've kind of thought of
If you
like
want-
next steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
To help you think of best case.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you one piece of instruction because I think that's the best way to start.
Sure.
Don't ever give people too much instruction to start with.
Yeah, it's too much to overwhelm.
It is too much. But if you have success with that one step, then challenge yourself for the next. Be like, great, I did it. I was able to say idea, worst case, best case. Now let me go idea and then start moving that best case scenario closer and closer to your initial thought of idea and then reaction. Like idea, then thought. Try to make that next thought the best or like a positive thought.
Okay, so even if you correct the thoughts in your head, right? What about, like, so you correct the thought in your head, which I genuinely think I tried to do. I'll be like, okay, so I think this, but what about this, right? So I feel like I try to do that. How do you fix or not how do you fix, but what about when that, yes, okay, you're fixing the mental part, but then the physical part where you're like, you're shaking, you're
Yeah.
pacing. So what, you just sit down?
So don't try
Take
to like help yourself at that point by trying to change any thoughts. If you are like up here, if you're already pacing, that's not a time to be like, let me change my thoughts.
Okay, so that's what I'm getting at.
You are already
That's what I'm getting
in
at.
fight or flight.
That's more so my peak
So there's like a
time.
threshold.
Yeah.
And that threshold is once you have activated your nervous system for fight or flight, then you're probably not able to control your thoughts anymore.
Correct.
That's done. That's out the window.
Correct.
So controlling your thoughts and kind of reprogramming that is all going to happen in a state of mind, more when you're not in a state of anxiousness, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
More when you're just in your regular day-to-day in
Yeah.
your mood. So you're
Sure.
retraining the mind during a time where it's more capable to do so, to have neuroplasticity. And then when you're in the fits of anxiety, now is not the time to like try to retrain your thoughts. That's
Okay.
a time just to get the nervous system to relax.
Okay then. So I feel like it's 0 to 100. And maybe I just don't notice any anxiety in between.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's just 0 to 100. And I feel like on a normal day-to-day basis, thoughts are pretty good.
Okay.
I feel like I do a fairly decent job. I'm pretty conscious of this stuff.
Are you pretty positive
I
when
would
you're
s-
not within the fits of anxiousness?
For the most part, I
Okay.
would say so.
Yeah.
I try to be pretty optimistic, pretty positive, but then it's like 0 to 100. So once you hit that pacing stage, like that's the
Yeah.
threshold, right? So we'll say that's the line. Once you hit that pacing stage, then what would be? Because I think this is where I so much struggle.
Yeah.
Normal day to day is not really a struggle. I don't struggle talking to people. I don't struggle doing this. I don't struggle like doing public speaking or something like that. So once you like cross that threshold, then
So whenever you have a reaction, it's typically your reaction to something that probably goes
correct. 0 to 100.
Yeah. So your reactions to say I got a flat tire or it's raining and I was supposed to have this today or something like that's gonna be like
Yes,
zip.
I'm very much. So he gives me shit all the time. I'm not like water. I don't just. It's really hard for me sometimes to just go with the flow. I'm very much like, okay, this is what I had made up in my mind. This is what I was set to. And then there's a detour, and that detour fucks me up every time. Fucks me up. Just
The change.
yeah, it just fucks with me.
In those times, you know what I tell myself? Fuck it, it is what it is. It is what it is.
That's fair.
Because here's how you can approach problems. Problems meaning something happened that you didn't expect. Let's call that a problem. There isn't a problem if there is a solution. Why get upset if you have a solution? Right? Fuck, my credit card just got stolen or it got lost. So what? Get a fucking new one.
Yeah.
That's not a problem, is it? Because there's a solution.
So what happens if you continue to just think of problems and never the solution? So back to that 3-month period of unstoppableness.
Yeah.
It was straight solutions.
Yes, that's great.
It was straight solutions.
There's a problem, solve it. Yeah.
Yeah. Always. It was just solution. But the rest of that time, aside from that 3-month wonderful block of my life, the rest of the time is just like problem.
You know what else? When you put yourself in that mind state of like, or this like anxious and angerness whenever you have a problem, I swear to God, if you get in that flow, you are a magnet for more problems.
Oh, absolutely.
And they will come.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell yourself that. Be like, nope, not going to get in that. I mean, I can tell you that, but it's not a solution for you. It's not a solution for you. The solution is you can remember that if I have the problem, you immediately think, it's fine, I can fix it. It's broke, I can super glue it. It's lost, I can get another one. My car wrecked, whatever, I got insurance. That's what insurance is for. Like, those are the things that I tell myself. Because I struggled financially early on in life. Like, times were hard. With family, where I grew up, really tight. I mean, lights off sometimes in the house. No food. I was like, there's nothing worse than that feeling. So whenever I have problems, I'm like, not as bad as what life has been.
Yeah.
So I have that perspective to help me through it. But I've just always had to deal with my own problems so much that I'm always just like, it's fine, I'll fix it. That's fine, I'll fix it. And I never give myself a hard time. Maybe I don't give myself a hard enough time, but like, I just don't judge myself.
I give myself such a hard time.
I don't. Maybe I should judge myself more, but I don't. I'm like, I'm doing my best here.
No, I think you're doing way better than me. Like, I give myself the hardest time.
For what?
All the time. Always.
Who cares? Like,
I care. Clearly.
Yeah, you care. You care. Well, like, yeah, why? I don't understand, like, why people give themselves a hard time. I don't do that to myself.
I give myself a hard time all the time.
The only, like, this is what I tell myself. If I tried, then good job.
And
as long as I'm trying.
When I'm conscious of it, I can revert back to that. But we're talking about the state of, like, just uncontrollable.
Yeah, I know. That, and when you are in those states of mind, you just need to, don't meditate because you're probably not going to do it. So just breathe. I know you're not going to, like, find a place and meditate. So just breathe. Do the box breathing. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it 1, 2, 3, 4. Out 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it 1, 2, 3, 4. That will truly trigger physiology in your body. Even though you feel stupid, you're like, I don't want to do it. Right? Just do it.
I don't have that issue. Fuck it. If it's gonna help, it's gonna help.
Just try it.
Yeah.
Just try it. Even though you're like, I don't want to do the breathing. Just do the breathing.
So then you would essentially okay. So you hit that state, that uncontrollable state, and then you try to calm yourself, and then essentially we kind of work backwards in the plan in a sense. So we try to calm yourself at that point and then change the thoughts.
Yes.
But when you're here, the thought changing is just not going to happen.
No.
So
Don't give yourself very much responsibility in that point in time.
Yeah, so you have to calm this state before.
Yeah. You need to say, I'm only going to make pathway changes in my mind or thought process changes if I'm at a level, say, 5 or 6 or below.
Sure.
Right? So give yourself a break. Don't even if you're like at a 7 or 8 and I'm like, I don't really want to. I'm just not feeling it. Then don't.
Yeah.
Don't always hold yourself to such a strict, like,
but it's tough, though.
regimen.
There's things that I want to achieve, and, like, you have to...
Life is a long time.
But is it, though? It's kind of short.
Life is a long time if you know what to do with it.
I respect that.
If you're just going to work at the same job for 30 years, great. Your life is going to be super short. If you're going to travel the world and you're going to do different things and you're going to accomplish a lot of stuff, trust me, life feels like it's a long time.
It's... Okay. That's... I like that because that's so true, right? So lately... So like I said, we've only been dating for 3 months, but it feels like it's been forever because she's very much a always doing something kind of person.
That's cool.
And I would say I'm a little bit more of a homebody, but I'm also a person who really truly wants to always be doing something, but it kind of comes in waves where it's like, okay, for this block of time, I really just want to do everything. But for this block of time, I don't want to do shit. But you're right though. When you do a lot of things, it feels like a very long period of time, and that helps. It lets you feel like that this is a longer period of time that we spend here on Earth than it's not.
Oh yeah, from 2003 to 2013, I traveled for 10 years straight, global. I felt like I lived a lifetime.
Let's hear about that.
I was in the Navy.
Okay.
Yeah, so like out of high school, I joined the Navy to pay for college because my older sister was living at home, paying her tuition by herself at a community college and living at home. And I was like, that sucks.
That's not what I want to do.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to live with mom and dad.
Okay.
You know? I want to get out. So I joined the military and joined the Navy at barely 18 and took off for 4 years and spent a lot of time in the Western Pacific. So Japan, Singapore, Guam, and then got stationed back in California. And then did another tour back to the Middle East there. Came back. Still always traveled every single year up until like last year. I was on a flight internationally at least once a year.
Okay.
Because I think it's just like in my soul to like get out of this country and get some perspective. Sometimes we just lose sight of
100%
perspective.
100% agree with that. I'm very much the same way.
I tried to, and I drug my husband along starting too, because he didn't get the chance to really travel while he was in college or anything. So we went to Budapest, and I don't know. I always swindle. I never pay for it. I feel like I always like find a way to like swindle the trips, whether it's for work or the military or mission trips. Like there's ways to travel with not having to pay for it.
Okay. Yeah. What was your favorite place?
I would have to say the Micronesian islands of Palau, just west of Guam, in the middle of nowhere. Wow. The most remote place in the world you can think of. That's what I love.
Why is that?
Because it's just secluded from everything. And those island people in general, let's get real, they're the happiest people on this planet. People from islands. They're always happy. And that little island of Guam and the Micronesia islands surrounding. Number one, it's like the best waters in the world for scuba diving and snorkeling, and the biodiversity is incredible. So I loved that. I love beaches. Who doesn't love beaches? And the people.
Do you feel like we were better before the widespread of information or worse?
I think we're better.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Why is that?
Absolutely. Because people have control over their own lives more, you know? Whereas you have to just believe what other people are telling you. You have to believe what the doctor is telling you.
But aren't we kind of stuck in that now, though? in a sense.
What?
Well, you still kind of believe what someone's telling you.
Oh yeah, a lot of people do that. I don't do that.
Fair enough.
I subconsciously question most information that I hear, including research. Here's the research to prove it. Guess what? You can critically review that research. I can look at the sample size, their p-values, the statistical methods they've used.
Like every one of the negative ketogenic studies that were essentially feeding people like 1,000 calories or 1,200 calories, and then that was how they were producing the information on saying how bad it was for people.
Oh, they can skew it. You can skew any. I did graduate school for 2 years and studied how people did research, created research, and conducted research, and you can skew the numbers to make it look like whatever you want.
Sure.
So even research is dicey.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta know how to learn to read peer-reviewed literature and understand where that information comes from.
Where do you stand on red meat?
Red meat is really difficult for our stomach to digest.
Okay.
So it's a constant battle between how we get nutrition absorbed in our body and what our intestines can take. There's always going to be a little bit of a beat down in there, all right? Like, that just is what it is. And our body knows that and has created a response to that, evolutionary speaking, for millions of years. We have bile enzymes to help break stuff down. We have bacteria that break most of our nutrients down. All of our major vitamins, A, D, E, and K, that are made from our bacteria in our body. We can't make that ourselves. So it's a balance between getting foods that are easily digestible with the most amount of nutrition. Now, red meat has a tremendous amount of nutrition.
I eat a ton.
It's incredibly nutrient dense. Has amazing things like iron and heme and B vitamins, omegas, you name it. The list goes on. But it's incredibly difficult molecule for our body to break down. So as you age, this is just what's going to happen. It's going to get harder and harder for your tummy to break that stuff down. So you can cook it longer to help break down protein, because what heat does to protein is it degrades it. That's just, and even all the way down to the molecular level at DNA. Once DNA hits heat, it unravels like this, and that's the basis of a lot of meat is proteins. So you could slow cook it to help your body digest it if you really, really like it, but the redder it is, the more digestive effort that's going to take from our body. So that's why people say it's bad for you, because it does create an inflammation response. But the trade-off is like, I just got a ton of iron out of that. So it's a balance. And it's everything in moderation.
Sure. Yeah, I'm very much a red meat guy, for sure. Like,
that's fine. And then you have to also consider everyone's biochemistry is different there.
Yeah.
So why do you like red meat? I do
really good on ground sirloin. And
is it because like the taste and the satisfaction?
Oh, definitely the taste, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely the taste, but also I feel pretty good on, like, when I do pretty strict, like ground sirloin and veggies is my go-to. Like, that's my go-to meal.
So you're doing ground beef?
Ground sirloin, ground beef.
Yeah, so that's not like steak.
Well, I mean, I do a lot of ribeyes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do a ton
Eating
of
ground
ribeyes.
beef is not going to have the same reaction as eating like steak.
Okay, yeah,
on your tummy.
I do a ton of like sirloin caps.
And I say tummy a lot because I have 2 toddlers. So
fair enough. Tri-tip, sirloin cap, ribeyes.
Yeah, ribeyes are great. I love the fat. Do you like the fat?
It's the best part.
Absolutely.
That's why you get a ribeye.
Yeah.
It's the best part.
Bone in?
Well, I just get like the regular bone out, but
You're the bone out guy, huh? Okay.
well, you know, it's cheaper, you know.
Oh, okay.
It's cheap.
If I'm going for a steak, I'm gonna go all out.
Well, I cook steaks here constantly.
Nice.
Yeah. Reverse sear, perfect. I've
On
got it
a
down.
gas? I mean, on an electric stove?
I've got it down.
Dang.
To a T.
Amazing.
Just.
It's good. You have a skillet?
Oh yeah.
That's
So
what you use?
oven first, skillet second.
Oven first, skillet second. That is I do the opposite. I do skillet first, like sear it all
So
in.
you can, but if you do it the other way, it's flawless.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
So if you cook it in the oven first and get it to the internal temperature that you want, take it out, then sear it for a minute on each side.
Okay.
Perfect.
All
Every
right.
time. flawless.
I'll try it. I'll
Do
try
it. A reverse
Okay.
sear. That's how Joe Rogan cooks his elk and everything.
Oh, does he? Okay.
In the oven first, then sear it.
All right.
Or this girl that I follow on Instagram, Jess Pryles. She likes to do like a keep flipping method. So she flips like every 15 to 30 seconds.
Oh,
Just boom,
interesting.
boom,
Maybe to
keeps
keep the
flipping.
juices like rotating internally.
So like you still get a pretty good medium rare, but over a longer period of time, I guess. Before like burning it, like just straight, instead of just straight searing it.
Nice.
So sometimes when I'm lazy, I'll do that.
So that's how you survive keto.
Yes, lots of beef.
So keto you could try, and you get that burst of energy people talk about. You can get that with intermittent fasting too.
Yeah,
But
and I would usually
It's
do
gonna
the
be
two
trickier
together.
for you because you do like intense trainings.
And so that's typically why I still do like oatmeal and toast, and like I
Yeah.
still do a lot of carbs. Well, I mean, I do a lot of carbs now, again, but my body does react a lot. I stay a lot leaner when I have less carbs, personally.
Of course.
Personally.
Yeah, anybody would.
My strength and conditioning coach doesn't though. He eats a shit ton of carbs and he stays lean as hell all year long.
But what does he do? Activity likewise. He probably burns a ton of calories then.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but I wouldn't say no more than someone else who works out 6 times a week. You know, not anything like he doesn't do a ton of cardio. It's a lot of a mixture between like bodybuilding and powerlifting.
I mean, he's just burning a shit ton of
Which he is.
calories.
But he stays super lean and he eats carbs
Crazy.
all meals. So it's
Maybe he's just one of those people.
it's just it's just everything that's
just one of those
that's
people you
also
hate.
one of the
You're like,
frustrations for real though. That's also one of the frustrations though, because it's always so subjective.
Yeah.
It depends on the person.
Yep.
And
That's
everyone
really
wants to
thing.
tell you like this is good, this is bad, but then you can find another person who tells you no, this is fine, this is bad. And it's
Everybody
just like constant.
is a like living planet, if you will.
Yeah.
It's completely different based upon your biome, your biorome, your genetics, and your metabolic functioning.
Because you can find a ton of people who had success with the carnivore diet, for instance, and then people who like I don't know if Dr. Rhonda Fitzpatrick is. I think a lot of people have kind of came off the whole keto train because, like you said, it's really not too sustainable. But even she'll disagree with some other things, like the red meat thing, for instance, or something like that. And there was another guy. I can't remember his name now. I want to say his first name might have been Andrew, but I don't remember. Or Ben Greenfield, if you're familiar.
Sounds familiar.
Like he considers himself like a biohacker.
Okay.
So he's constantly on the cutting edge, trying anything and everything, to just
For metabolic processes?
for
Anything.
almost anything.
Okay.
To just keep him as a peak human being as possible.
Okay.
Essentially, and I don't know. I find it all fascinating, but then it's all kind of frustrating too, because like, wait, what am I actually supposed to do?
Listen to your body.
Okay, but what if
you?
Well, I'm happier when I eat carbs, but I look
yeah,
better.
Yeah, now listen to your mind. Now listen to your mind.
But I look better when I don't eat carbs.
Yeah.
Which one's right?
I guess I should say don't listen, not listen to your body, look at your body.
But then you're not.
The next
but
morning
then
when you
you're not
like are getting dressed in the mirror, everyone gives themselves the look.
Sure.
Everyone does.
But then
the
you're
look.
not having that as much fun.
That's true. I did read a thing one time when someone said that 5 pounds is your happiness, is your, cheat meal, is your going out with friends. It's that 5 pounds that you wish. For me, I don't want those 5 pounds. It's kind of a lot for my frame, but that 2 pounds for me is the happiness. Yeah.
That's fair. Balance.
Yeah.
Oh, I get that.
It's usually gone in the morning. I'm like, yeah, I'm so lean in the morning. And then by the evening, you're like, ah.
As long as I'm working out consistent, I can get away with most things.
Yeah.
But I've been inconsistent with my workouts and also eating like crazy. So it's been those two things.
So you're up and down. You struggle with consistency and moderation.
Yeah, my body's fucked. Again, goes back to when I was saying I wish I knew how someone else felt when they woke up in the morning so I could decide whether or not I'm being a bitch or not a bitch. Because some days I just wake up and it's bad. I'm like, fuck.
What do you mean? What are you complaining about? Your body?
Yeah, my low back and hips are.
Oh, like you're struggling with pain.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, interesting.
For sure.
Do you have a chiropractor, you see?
So I do. I've been going to physical therapy a lot this year.
Oh, good.
Been trying to work on it. Maybe not as consistent as I should. My issue is I go 0 to 100, back down to 0, back to 100, back down to 0, back to 100.
Yeah.
That's my issue because when I'm in the gym, I don't know how to not go balls to the wall, 100%.
Why do you think I always just came 2 days a week, 2 to 3 days a week? I've been going 2 to 3 days a week for almost 3 years. Mm-hmm. Because besides having a baby, right? Can't go during that time. Other than that, I'm in there 2 times. Maybe 3 times. Yeah. Because that is consistent. I would rather hit consistency than try to go too much than burn out. Try to go too much than burn out.
So that's your consistency.
You gotta find your level of consistency.
That's fair. I beat myself up though. It goes back to that. Right when I'm not in there as much. I'm used to going twice a day on Tuesdays, twice a day on Thursdays.
Oh my God, no, twice is too much.
Well, I would do CrossFit in the mornings and then I do Muay Thai at night.
Well, I guess it's fun. Muay Thai is a workout, but it's fun.
Yeah, right. That's my enjoyment.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily consider it as much
of a workout.
But when we hard spar, that takes a toll on your body.
Yeah, that's a lot of inflammation.
I hurt right now. Yeah, I hurt right now. My hips are killing me.
Because people are kicking you, or
from throwing kicks.
Oh.
Throwing kicks over a long period of time can break down if you don't. So, one of the guys I go to, he was on the podcast, Ron.
Is it bad, to kick in the air? What's
I think so. He was explaining to me the motion of kicking. A good thing to kind of counteract it fucking with your hips is to do the opposite motion as a post post recovery. So if you're swinging like this to kick, you would essentially do hip rotations the opposite way. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's creating an imbalance there of strength on one side versus
because
the other.
I have a massive imbalance. My left side is significantly weaker than my right side.
Leg or arm or both?
All of it.
Weird.
All of it.
Cool, because you want to kick with your right. You want to kick with your
definitely want to kick with my right for sure. So kicking with my left is already weird. But then I feel like I have some kind of nerve issue too. So I've been working on that. I'm working on a bunch of shit. But my left side doesn't...
At least you're doing more than most people.
I'm trying, but it's so expensive. I'm spending so much money. Just throwing... Not throwing, but I'm spending so much money. But then I constantly just do the same thing. 0 to 100, 0 to 100, 0 to 100.
Yeah, just perpetuating this cycle.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Because I don't know how to go work out and take it easy.
It doesn't mean you have to take it easy. You just need to be going 5 days a week.
But when I go those 1 or 2 days, I'm still trying to win the WOD. Win
what does that mean?
The 4-time workout. I'm still trying to come in first.
I don't know how. Screw that competition. Screw other people.
I can't.
Just worry about yourself. Don't worry about other people.
I'm too competitive. I want to win that.
For who?
Myself.
You should already be proud of yourself.
Well, that comes from winning it.
No, you don't need to win it to be proud of yourself.
I know, and some days are better than others in the sense of okay, good job showing up. You showed up, you worked out, good job.
I feel like I give myself a lot of credit every time I go. I'm like, I made it.
Yeah.
I just got here. I've already won.
But then if the next week I don't work out as frequently as I did maybe the week before, then it goes from okay, good job showing up to, come on, dude, stop being lazy.
Yeah. I mean, I struggle a little bit too with it. I don't think I give myself as hard of time as you do.
I definitely, I'm all over myself for sure.
Yeah. I mean, a certain level of that is great because too many people lack it, right? People just are literally on the opposite end. They just go to their job, they come home, they eat like shit, they sit on the couch, they go to bed, they do it again.
Oh, that sounds terrible. That's what I'm trying to avoid.
What?
The perpetuating cycle.
I mean, you're not doing that. So why are you worried about it? It's almost like you just beat yourself up no matter what you're doing. Whether you're doing it too much or you're not doing enough, you're like...
This is accurate.
Not happy.
This is accurate.
So, like, where is that stemming from? Maybe you should dig deeper on that. Why you have that need
I don't know.
to please yourself.
I don't-
You feel like you're not doing enough
No.
in life?
Ever.
In general?
Ever. Which is
What would make you...
Which is crazy. Because it is crazy. I know it's crazy. I'm so conscious of this feeling that I know it's crazy, but I can't stop it.
What's one thing on your list, like, you feel like you want to do or you should be doing with your life, but you keep talking yourself out of it? But you would be really proud of yourself if you did it.
Finding a job that I enjoy.
Okay.
Instead of just constantly working these jobs that makes me a lot of money.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very conscious of this feeling, right? Which is weird, because if you really break it down, I feel like I'm doing a fairly decent job for where I'm at in my time in life compared to the majority of other people. But then I guess it kind of stems from social media and seeing a bunch of, not a bunch, but other people, even younger or same age, doing that much better.
Oh, yeah. And that's always going to be there. But guess what? There's always going to be someone doing better, someone worse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guilty of it too, right?
Sure.
But I don't know. I'm just, I'm in a place now where I feel just really proud of where I'm at. And I mean, I probably felt this way now for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, yeah, it was a constant feeling of like, I gotta pedal as fast as I can to try to get like where I want to be.
Yeah.
And like I remember that, but like as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing to get there, that's all I can do.
Yeah.
Right? Like I went to grad school, and I was in grad school, and I'm like, oh, I'm like poor again. Here I am, gotta be in school, and then I can't wait to graduate, and then try to get a good job. And I had this looming feeling, but I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's all I can do.
Mm-hmm.
All you can do is just do the plan, what you're
Mhm.
supposed to be doing.
Maybe that's what it is. A lack of a plan.
Yeah.
I'm not a planner at all.
No, not a planner. All right.
At all. Not at all. Which is weird, because if something strays from the quote unquote plan,
Mhm.
fucking drives me up the wall.
Mhm.
But I'm not a planner.
What's your plan to find a better career path?
I don't have one.
You need to look at that then.
I don't have one because I don't know what the fuck I want to do. I just know that I don't enjoy what I do now, but it pays the bills and has given me the opportunity to do what I do outside of here. I pay for 2 gyms. I bought and sold a house successfully, made a good amount of money. I've invested a good amount of my money. I'm in a good spot, but there's still something that's just not. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
just
You could always look into. I mean, you're in sales, right? You could sell anything.
yeah.
It might
but
have you more interest.
I've tried that. I sold fitness supplements.
Okay.
Like I thought that was going to be the thing, right?
Well, that's
so I
what's
had
great.
that.
Yeah.
I kind of had that idea. I was like, okay, I'm in the fitness. Let's sell fitness supplements.
Yeah.
People wear me down.
I hear you. I don't have to. Yeah, I guess I do work with people on a daily basis, but I work with people that it's a B2B business.
And they also
I
want
would
to.
say it's like
They
your
also want to
average.
have that conversation with you, usually, and they also want to be there too.
Women be there.
Like they also want to. They also probably enjoy what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
No.
No.
What?
Okay. Maybe not. Maybe they don't. But I don't know. I feel. No, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, it's the career path. Think about it.
Yeah. Well,
I think the ultimate goal of what makes
Or
everybody
do.
satisfied and happy is being proud of yourself.
Yeah. I have my better days and my worst days. I'm majorly proud of myself. But the part of me that's not proud of myself is the part that's the loudest.
How could you let that overshadow, right? I mean, you're healthy, you're young, you have a nice place, you have hobbies that you're great at and do, so you just gotta give yourself more credit.
Yeah.
There is one thing that, do you follow Jay Shetty?
Mm-mm.
You should. He used to be, well, I guess he started out in London. He's a kid from London, and he just all he wanted to do was make money. That's all he cared about, was just seeing people on Instagram making money. And then he went to business school and did really well. Was it business school he went to? He went to a really premier business school. And then instead of going that path, he just dropped everything and went to become a monk and lived that way for 3 years. And just started life with more meaning and more path. And he truly says that starting every day with gratitude helps set the positive mind state for the day. So if you could set gratitude in the morning, I don't know if it would beat your anxiety away, but it wouldn't hurt.
No, but I agree with that though. I could almost see myself doing something to that extreme. Not quite.
You are
that.
extreme, so
Not quite
that
to
wouldn't surprise me.
Not quite to that point, but I could see myself doing something like that.
Go live as a monk.
Yeah. Why not?
You gotta shave your head and your beard.
That wouldn't. Yeah. Okay. See. So there's. That's why I gotta find that middle ground between being a monk and not being a monk. I gotta find that like in between, because this isn't. I can't shave this or this. I definitely can't shave this. I can shave this, but this isn't that. The hair can't go nowhere.
The high top's gonna stay?
It can't go nowhere.
You've always had the high top?
No. This is more recent. Probably like maybe the last like 5 years.
Looks like you just got a fresh ass fade.
I did yesterday. Thanks for nosing.
Yeah.
Thanks. He didn't
Seems
even
like
know.
a lot of upkeep.
He didn't even
to
say
fade.
nothing. Yeah, I go like every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's expensive.
Yeah.
I know.
No doubt.
I
Okay,
know.
let's check how we're doing on time.
Yeah.
20? All right.
Where are you at with time?
I could do another 5 or so. Wrap it soon.
Bees.
We missed it. We missed it. It's fine, but it's kind of just, it's better to go with the flow.
Sure.
It's better to go
Well, I
with
want
the
you
flow.
to enjoy it too. You came here to talk about bees.
Anything science, I'm happy talking about.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And for me, it's anytime I bring up the subject of bees, people get wildly interested, and it sparks an interest in people. And then I love to help educate people of that. And people usually walk away like mind blown on it. I can always come back too. You know
Bees
what I
are
mean?
super important.
Yeah, but it's I always just like helping people learn,
And
because
I like to learn.
when you teach someone something or educate someone, it almost like raises their level of joy or happiness. I swear, like when people learn something and they get it, they feel better about themselves.
I agree with that, and I feel like I'm pretty eager to learn and pretty open to accept that maybe something that I think is true is not true. So I'm very open to that, and I'm very eager to learn. I enjoy that.
I think self-reflection is important.
All the time. That's the one thing that I'm very good at, which is
Good.
why I'm super conscious of these issues.
But then you like overdo it and you like criticize yourself to the max on stuff.
Yes.
I just
Yeah.
don't see the point in that. I don't know how to tell you not to do that. And then you're like one of those people that it's probably, if I tell you not to do it, then you're going to be like criticizing yourself for criticizing yourself. So I have a brother-in-law
knows
that's
best.
hard on himself like that too.
Yeah.
Just always criticizes himself
Yeah.
for like not doing something or like just. I'm like,
So maybe
let
the
slide.
key is to just do it. So if you're always criticizing yourself for not doing it, why not just do
Make
it?
a list. I do lists to get it done.
And just do it.
People in general struggle with action. I've found.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
On anything that they're supposed to be doing.
I knew I wanted to fight 5-6 years ago, and I walked in just last year.
That's amazing.
So I always knew it was something that I would be decent at, and that was something that I would enjoy.
You should give yourself credit for doing that, for starting
That
now.
I am
You did
proud of that. I walked in there. I was proud that I walked in there by myself, even though initially it wasn't supposed to be by myself, but I got fed up waiting for the person to come with me. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go on my own. And no, that is something that I'm happy about because I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kudos.
Thanks.
I would never be in a fight. I don't want to get hit. Don't hit me.
I kind of enjoy getting hit.
Oh my God, you sick beast.
I know. I know. They give me so much shit in class.
I can't mess this up. It's all I got going. No.
I feel that too. That's why. I don't know. But no, they give me so much shit when we're sparring because they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
But you should even be proud of it if you lose. You know, like.
Oh yeah.
You did it.
Yeah, that's how I went in with the fight. I was whatever happens. I'm just happy that I was there, and I put in the work to get there. That I earned. Yeah. I earned that position to be there.
Good. That's awesome. Hope it's a good community of people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I kind of gather from those types of
martial arts is awesome.
That's awesome. You should hook back up with Law. See what he does.
Sure. Yeah. I know he grapples a lot, and he.
Is that different than what you do?
So I don't grapple so much. I do mainly striking.
Okay.
I grapple every once in a while, but if I remember correctly, he primarily grapples. But yeah.
I think he said there was a Facebook post, he was in gi and out of gi. I don't know what that means.
So yeah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So gi is I guess like the uniform you'd wear, like the cross coat and then the pants. And then non-gi is when you see people in like really tight shirts and the shorts. That would be like non-gi. And then gi would be the whole uniform where you can grab the collar.
Right. You have more to hang on to.
It's different. Yeah, it's a different technique. You're learning the same kind of moves, but again, you can like grab the collar, you can grab the wrist, the slack on the wrist, things of that nature to kind of get a better grip. And then non-gi, you don't really have that. Yeah. So there's different chokes you can do, you can, etc.
The only thing I know I would be good at is getting away. Because my sister tackled me growing up my whole life, and I felt like I was always really good at getting away. So anytime people try to grab me,
that's good.
Really good at getting away. I'm not good at hitting anybody or taking hits.
I'm a terrible grappler, but I'm very good at not dying.
Good.
So that
unless there's there's certain holds there's no getting out of.
Sure, there's some people who are good, just too good.
Yeah.
But against the average person, I'm very good at just surviving.
Yeah, nice. I do the method what the crocodile does, called the death roll, and then I just roll my way out.
Usually
of anything.
Usually that's the way to get out.
The
Rolling is always good.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. If you have anything that you want to shout out, or if there's anything that you want to say, go for it.
I would like to shout out to all the people I stepped on to get here. No, I'm just kidding. Let's save the bees and save the whales.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's end it. Thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you.
Absolutely. I want to see you succeed with the mental complexities that you have at your face.
Me too. Me too. I would.
Or facing you, I meant to say. Yeah.
Me too. I would enjoy that.
I want to see you. I watch my husband absolutely suffer, so I know probably a little bit what you're going through.
I would imagine horrible. It's probably similar.
Yeah. He's just like, I don't want to feel this way.
Constantly.
Yeah.
No, I understand that.
And
absolutely.
I don't know anything about how to create a better solution. These are the only things that I've come to realize. I wish I had even a better solution for you. So maybe I should do more research on how to help people.
I feel like for me, reassurance that's not me is usually pretty helpful.
Engage, what's the girlfriend's name?
Candace.
You need to tell Candace. Candace, I don't need your help here.
Yeah.
I'm struggling. There's going to be days where my anxiety is going to seem out of control. I am going to need you to help me challenge what I'm thinking, what I'm saying, and tell me it's going to be okay.
And that, yeah. And sometimes that's all it comes down to. Is literally that. It's really simple to fix, but complex at the same time. But all right, awesome. Go home, get some sleep.
I go to bed early.
I know you gotta.
I go to bed at 8
you got some kids to go handle.